I did.
Good evening, welcome, Thursday Night Golf Live. We tried Monday, we had technical difficulties. Obviously we are now going for a Thursday. Unfortunately we did have a video lined up for tonight, but that also had technical difficulties, so we are on a great roll this week. Technology is on the rise. So I'm going to start tonight, obviously where we left off on Monday. Now I left off on Monday, I just checked my notepad. Okay. I left that we just talked about the Netflix Cup. And as I said on Monday, I really like the Netflix Cup. The only problem was it was American commentary. It was very American in its feature and its broadcast. I thought Netflix might have gone a bit more adventurous, maybe put an English for the English audience, a couple of different for the other countries. But I thought we could have had a Nick Doherty, Wayne Riley, Rich Beam, you know, maybe get some of the Sky commentators to go over, do the broadcast. Or even try something a little different, but have it an English feel to it. It felt very American. Now, since then, we've had quite a bit of breaking news, which is quite interesting. As I mentioned on Monday, Rory McIlroy resigned from the PGA Tour Players Board. Fair enough, you know, he wants to concentrate on his golf and everything, can't fault him. He's replaced by Jordan Spieth. I find that quite interesting, really. Nothing against Jordan, I'm a massive, massive fan of his. His golf is phenomenal, but I feel recently maybe he's got a bit technical with his golf. This might help him focus his mind maybe on the PGA Tour Player Board. I believe the meetings take up to 7 hours. So this might be his sort of break, really. Give him that different mentality. Let's see Jordan Spieth return to playing golf because he's a phenomenal golfer. Probably one of the best putters in the game. His long game, ooh, as somebody once said to me, if it would probably lose a dozen balls around. That I think he's still a little true with Jordan, but short game putting, can't fault him. So good luck there with Jordan. News broke yesterday, Jon Rahm is going to go to LIV. The rumour is it's $600 million. I asked on our TikTok, what would you spend $600 million on? What would be your first purchase? I've got some very interesting answers, but I'd like to know what you feel. Drop it in the comments. Let us see what would be your first purchase if you had 600 million. Mine, I'd probably go to LA. I'd love to start North LA, work my way down, spending time at each one, really taking the sights, finish up down in San Diego, maybe play Pebble Beach, maybe a bit of Torrey Pines, maybe travel a little bit to Phoenix for the waste management. Who knows, with 600 million though, you can do a lot. Oh, interesting. Somebody's put a supercar or a house for my mum. Joe, that is very sweet. Keep that kind of attitude, young man. You'll go far in life. I like it. Hi, Callum. Okay, keep your comments coming, guys. Keep dropping them in. Let's see where we get to. Okay, today, this morning, the PIP was announced, the Player Impact Proceedings that the PGA Tour ran. No surprise, Rory number 1, Tiger number 2. I think it's a little predictable. I also would like to know what the criteria is because we all know Tiger's household name. We know he's brilliant. We know that. But has he done a lot for golf in the last sort of 12 months? I can't say so with his injuries and going having his fusions. So for him to take the 12 million second place, I think it's a little bit, you know, is it jobs for the boys? When you look at the top 10 in particular, it is reading like a boys club. So I'd be interested to know what the criteria is. Also, I'd like to know how the PGA Tour can justify that kind of money. 100 million prize pool for players who supposedly raised the game when some haven't played or haven't done a lot to raise the game. I find that really interesting. Especially when I think the DP World Tour has nowhere near that kind of money, but the PGA Tour is a partner. So I do find that quite interesting, really. News also broke yesterday that Tiger and Charlie Woods will be taking part in the PNC in the mid-December. Really excited about that. I think it's a great tournament. It's a Christmas tournament. Also, the Faldos. Nick couldn't resist, Sir Nick couldn't resist putting a tweet out to say that he would also be there with his son. So I'm quite excited about that. I enjoy them Christmas kind of competitions. It's nice, it's a wind down, it's relaxed, bit of fun, enjoyable. You get to see the players in a bit of a different light. I thoroughly enjoy them. I really, really do. Chat's gone a little quiet at the moment. Hopefully we'll get some more coming in very soon. News today broke that Bernd Wiesberger has took his DP World Tour membership back. Now, Bernd went to LIV. He's had 2 years on LIV. He sort of survived this year. Played some golf towards the end that got him enough points or enough money to secure his status, but he was a free agent. He's now paid his fines and served his suspension technically on the DP World Tour, and it says he's fully focused on it. I find that really strange. With all what first happened, anybody that moved was banned. They'd ruined the legacy. Did this, the fact that the DP World Tour just opened their arms and let him straight back on. Yes, he didn't resign his membership. Yes, he's in a category that gives him exemption, but for all the hubbubaloo about he did this, he did that, he did the other, to me, should he not have to go back and re-earn his status? Just seems a little strange. Also, do the DP think Bernd Wiesberger's a household name or something and they want to try and keep him? I don't know, but to me, he hasn't done a lot in golf recently. To me, back to qualifiers. Hello, Skep FC, whoever you are. Right, we got to this point pretty much on Monday, and then we had our technical difficulties, but the DP World Tour concluded last weekend out in Dubai, the race to Dubai. Now, Rory had already won it before he'd even hit a ball in the final. It kind of felt very much FedEx Cups 2007 to 2009, where if you earned enough points over the season, you'd won it. What were the point then of making like a top 60? You know, the FedEx Cup playoffs learnt that very quickly. Let's make it more of a shootout. Let's make it more interesting. They've made several adaptations. And I actually quite like the FedEx now. I think it gives it that feel. You've got an investment to watch. Who's going to do what? This year, Victor Hovland, you know, it was brilliant to watch him romp home at the Tour Championship for a clean sweep. Rory winning before he's hit a shot just doesn't sit right with me. Doesn't give it that element. To be fair though to Rory, he did shoot -10. He finished tied 22nd. Not bad really, but, you know, should he have been better? Possibly. Is it everything going on? Who knows? Tommy Fleetwood were a big surprise for me. I kept hearing all weekend off the commentators, oh, he played well in South Africa, but he putted badly. He played well, but he putted badly. For me, I feel there's always an excuse coming with Tommy at the moment. My question is he good enough? Yes, he plays some phenomenal golf. Yes, he is a very good player. But does he win enough to consider himself that next level? He wins the odd tournament in Europe, hasn't won in America. You know, when I think of good players, I think Luke Donald won in America, won in Europe, never won a major, but the fact he was winning on both tours, you sort of put him that next level up. For me, that's what Tommy needs to do. If he wants to be considered one of the better players, he needs to start winning in America, in Europe. He needs to get them W's built up. The minute I feel he's very short on his CV in that aspect. Please, as always, let me know your thoughts on that. As we mentioned, Jon Rahm was looking at going to LIV. He finished the race to Dubai, -17, tied for 5th. He made a late charge. Jon does seem to have been out of form since sort of May. He showed his talent at the Ryder Cup, and I don't think you ever take that off him. But in actual tournaments, he hasn't really, for me, had a great season. By his standards, he won the Masters, and then it sort of just tailed off a little bit for me. Maybe we're just used to Jon being a serial winner, shooting his really low scores, but it's almost like he hasn't quite done that. He has charged, but he's not actually put himself there in the first place, which is a shame. Gotta mention Matt Wallace. Wow, I thoroughly enjoyed watching that Saturday morning. It was worth getting up early for. You know, his front nine were then all of a sudden, 9 birdies on the back nine for around a 60, 12 under. Superb, that Matt. That was phenomenal golf. And the thing was, I saw a stat. He weren't holing long putts. Normally when it's around a 60, you hole some putts. Matt were holing 1 and 2 footers, which means his iron plays, approach play, were just off the charts. It was great to see. I watched him on 17. He stuck it to about 5 foot. It was absolutely beautiful. Good golfing, Matt. Shame you didn't get over the line, but again, you can be proud of the effort. The winner, Nicolai Højgaard. Him and his brother Rasmus seem to be topsy-turvy a little bit. One's performing, one's not. One's performing, one's not. They're up and down. But it was nice to see Nicolai get the win. Him and his brother obviously have a lot of talent, and like I think again it goes back to that, are they getting the wins? I think now they're both on the PGA Tour. Yeah, let's get them some wins. I think let's get in contention, get them W's. I think, yeah, they're both going to have very, very good careers. I really do. I think they're both very talented golfers. The course. I've seen quite a bit on social media about the Earth course in Dubai. Some people like it, some people don't. I actually quite like it. I thought the last hole is very quirky. I think you've got to either go up the right and hope you're long enough and straight enough, or you've got to play for position up the left, leave yourself a mid to long iron into a green. It's a par 5. I like the tee element. The bit for me, I think the green could do with a bit more danger. Maybe bring some water up the right hand side. A lot of the players bailed out to the right. They weren't really punished for it. For me, let's just make it that bit more risk and reward. And I think it'll be one of the best holes in golf. I really do. I mentioned PGA Tour cards. There was a lot of talk about this over the weekend, about European players getting PGA Tour. It really did make the DP World Tour feel like a feeder tour to the PGA Tour. And at the minute, you know my feelings on the PGA Tour, it's very murky. Like I've said many times, the PGA Tour is a phenomenal product. It really is. But at the minute, the management, the politics, you know, it's coming across that way. It's not a sport. It feels more like a political enterprise for me. I don't quite like it. Skep FC, I think maybe you're a little lost. Tommy Fleetwood's not American. Tommy Fleetwood is from Southport in England. He is British. Okay? Somebody feels Rory McIlroy is the GOAT. That's your opinion, you're entitled to it. But for me personally, I would say Tiger Woods is always the GOAT. On to the Ladies European Tour now. Again, I'm a bit disappointed with the amount of coverage there was. Now, there was more this weekend, but I feel like it's becoming almost a feeder tour to the LPGA and other tours. Now, I saw it's got the money, it's got this, but what got me was Celine Boutier was leading the players to the season event. She'd only played 5 events. I don't see how that can be right. When Trucat Chingleb, I think that's how you say it, had played 23 events and was in second. Now, she has took the lead, but she's played 23 events to somebody who's played 5. I don't see how that can be a race to the end of the season standings. To me, that's really poor. Not taking nothing away though from Alexandra Fosterling, who at -13 won by 5. Superb golf. But like I say, when I saw the stat about the season standings and Celine Boutier only played 5 events and were leading, it kind of just put me off really. I lost interest. There was nothing to be interested in. It was almost jobs for the boys again, and I didn't like it. It left a sour taste with me. Got some here. Skep FC. My sources tell me that Fleetwood is American. I can assure you he really isn't. Okay? Tommy Fleetwood is definitely English. Or British if we want to go that route, okay? So maybe check your Google searches. The LPGA, Amy Yang won at -27 for a 3-shot lead. She's one of the older winners on the tour this season, which just goes to show, you know, if you keep working at it, keep chipping at it, you can get there. Lilia Vu, world number 1, took the Rolex Player of the Season award. Again, it was out of her and Boutier. Now, Boutier played more LPGA events, so this one, I didn't mind so much. It was a bit more open. It wasn't sort of a jobs for the boys one-off run. But Lilia Vu, obviously tremendous season. Celine Boutier's had a great season. I think she's won 4 times. You know, that is great golf. But Lilia Vu has been up there week in, week out. I'm unsure how many wins she's actually got, but she won the Rolex Player of the Season, so well done. The PGA RSM Classic took place. Our guy, Ludvig Åberg, finished -29. Final round of -9, won by 3. But more importantly, he shot 61-61 over the weekend. He really is a generational talent. Now, I stand by my comments that I thought the Ryder Cup was a little too early for him. But since turning pro in June, he's now won on the DP World Tour, he's won on the PGA Tour. everything's looking bright for Ludwig Åberg. We've seen the videos of him hitting balls in the snow. He's clearly a generational talent. I just hope he can keep it up. I hope he's not been overhyped. And I hope he stays grounded, keeps doing what he's doing. Now, I read on social media that the ISM was more a second string event. I can see the point. I really can. When some of the top players have gone to live, your bigger names maybe having a break or in other games, but you still got to win. And I think shooting -29, yeah, he stepped up and won. You know, he was making birdies for fun. I watched quite a lot of the final round. He never looked flustered. He never looked bothered. He just kept banging on the door. Well played. I was really, really happy to see him win that. I've got Logan, what is going on? I don't know, Logan. You tell me, mate, what is going on? I'm a bit lost with that comment. Obviously, we love our interactions, but I don't know what you mean. Skep, it's no worry. We all make mistakes, my friend. It happens. Tommy Fleetwood, though, is British. Have we got any more comments? Skep, I don't know what that means. Can we stick to golf, preferably, please, or at least talk English? All right. Now, as you know, we love a good deal on our Monday night golf night that's now on a Thursday. What I would say is with Black Friday, go and check your local pro shops. A lot of the local pros are putting on absolutely phenomenal deals. Okay, I was in Manchester Golf Club last Friday, funnily enough. They had a Ping Stealth 2 3-wood for £79. Okay, it was a demo, but it was in great condition. The only reason I didn't buy it, it had a regular shaft. If it had a stiff shaft, I'd have bought that for £79. Bargain. I did buy some tops, reduced from £65 and £60 down to £24. I've seen other pro shops, big sales. NJO Golf Academy up at Nelson, he's put some I've seen, big reductions on TaylorMade. Green Golf Events, based at Regent's Park over in Bolton, they were the cheapest I've seen for Titleist Vokey SM9s. The best I'm seeing online is 129. I've seen them over there at 119. So again, some great deals. What I would say, support your local pros, go in the shops, have a look what they've got. May need to do a little bit, but most pros will do a little bit of bartering. But I would recommend that than maybe some of the bigger outlets. The minute some of the bigger outlets, to me, haven't got that many good deals on, considering we're getting very close to Black Friday. I would go and check. Joey, you seem to be repeating yourself in the comments. I don't know why. Maybe you might want to just have a look at that. Okay, you just keep saying what surds. They're nothing to do with golf, mate, as far as I'm aware. So can we stick to golf, please? Equipment in the last week. TaylorMade launched the new driver, the QI10. Quite a few other players seem to have it in over the weekend. It looks nice. Hopefully TaylorMade will send me one for a review. Cobra launched theirs. The Black Jet Speed, or the Black Speed, I can't remember the exact name of it now. But the Cobra, I didn't like the driver, but the 3-wood looks very nice, I must admit. And again, if Cobra would like to send me some to try and review, feel free, please. And Ping launched their new driver. Looks very similar to the G430, but without the colour. So again, I'm going to be interested to see how that one develops. And again, Ping, if you'd like to send me one for a demo or a review, we'll never say no on the Tall Golfer channel. Okay, this week, I'm quite excited. I know we're Thursday, this morning, the Australian PGA started, the Joburg Open started. The ladies are in Andalusia for the Costa del Sol Open de España, and we'll be feeding more on that on Monday night. We'll give you a roundup of how that's gone. I'm more excited though, next week, the Hero Open, the return of Tiger. I am thoroughly excited by this one. Hope to see him back, hope to see him competing. I think most people are excited to see him back. I hope he gets round the 18 holes, or shall we say he gets round 18 holes quite nice. He gets round the 72 comfortably, no discomfort. Fingers crossed he puts a good score in. Let's hope so, because we're all big Tiger fans here at the Tall Golfer channel. Okay, Skep FC. Who do you think is the best up and coming golfer? Ludwig Åberg is definitely up there. You know, like I say, he's won twice in 6 months. I think he's going through the stages. He won it in Switzerland. He blew it at Wentworth, which was a bigger event. But the fact he put himself in contention, okay, we'll take that. He went to the Ryder Cup. He didn't really set the world alight, but he didn't do a lot wrong. He's then gone and won it now on the PGA Tour. So the fact he's had 2 wins within 6 months, I think, is quite good. His swing is gorgeous. He seems to have a nice attitude. He doesn't seem to get flustered. He doesn't seem to be getting arrogant. I would say Ludwig Åberg is definitely one to watch. If the Højgaard twins can get a couple of wins, I think them also. I think they're 22 years old. I think they're 2 to watch because I think they will push one another. And I'd be interested to wait and see who else emerges. There's a lot of Q schools still going on. There's always somebody jumps out the pack. There was an amateur, I forget his name now, who's qualified for the DP World Tour at 18. To do that takes some skill. So again, there are some up and comers. I will do my best to keep you up to date on them. Joey, have we got a question or are we just putting random stuff in the chat? Skep, another good question. Who is the best golfer of all time? This is one I've had many debates about over the years. Now, whether you weigh up majors, whether you weigh up tournaments, it's very difficult to judge. If you were to go off majors, then I would say it's Jack Nicklaus. If you're to go off the growth of the game, what they did for the game, what they've won, I would have to say the great Tiger Woods. You speak to an older generation and they would probably say Arnold Palmer, the king, was somebody who definitely grew the game. And what he did coming over to Britain, travelling the world, playing the game, his endorsements, the sponsorship deals he struck, you know, definitely grew the game back then. So it's a very difficult one. My honest opinion, Tiger Woods is the greatest golfer of all time. Like I say, go back, somebody who's a bit older than me will probably argue it's Jack. Others may say Gary Player. Some may say Seve, because he grew the game in Europe. It comes down to personal choice, I feel. Cool Gamer Main. Yo. Okay, I'm not going to say the other bit because I'm a grown adult, but yo yourself. Skep FC, like generally. I don't know. Joey, I'm going to finish in time for I'm a Celeb, so don't worry about that. Okay, I'm sure I'm a Celeb comes on at 9 o'clock. I'm hoping to be done for around 8:30. Unless you want to keep going with your questions, guys. It's entirely a little bit this on you, the audience. Daggy3, hello. Hope you're well. Have we got any more questions, guys? Just looking at the time, time is starting to move on. If we've got any more questions, we've got 6 people apparently watching. Christmas yet, Joey? I haven't decided yet. I'm probably going to have family around. Probably take a little bit of a break from work because I do work full time. Take a break from probably social media just to recharge, refresh, get ready for the new year, because obviously we've got a lot of stuff coming over the new year, so make sure you've subscribed to the channel to keep up to date. Make sure you follow us on Twitter and Instagram to stay up to date with everything we've got going on. I'm excited about the new year. I'm more looking forward to getting out on actual courses and letting you guys see some actual golf rather than just stuck in a studio. At the minute, we seem to be either stuck in this studio or we're stuck in the golf studio due to the British weather. But hopefully, March, April, the weather picks up, we can get out. I've also hopefully got some more club reviews for you coming up soon. Might do a bit of Christmas content, but I'm looking forward to my Christmas dinner, I really am. Skep again, what is the name of professional golf tournament that is held in St Andrews, Scotland? There's a couple held in St Andrews, Scotland. The Open is normally the main one. That was the last year for the 150th Open. The big one, they have the St Alfred's Dunhill that takes place most Octobers, that involves 3 courses but finishes at St Andrews on the old course. There's also other tournaments, lesser pro events held at St Andrews. There's about 5 courses up there now, all of which are fantastic. It just depends. The old course though is the big one. That's the one that everybody wants to play. But to go in that as a ballot, and they've just put the prices up, so it's not cheap. We are looking at doing giveaways at some point, maybe do a Christmas one, might do a New Year one. We've not decided yet what it is because we've got to look at the terms and conditions, the rules and regs, everything that's involved. But again, make sure you've subscribed, make sure you follow us on Twitter, Instagram, so that you keep up to date with what we're giving away. Have we got any more questions, guys? Or oh, we had 8 watches, now we've only got 7. What type of giveaway would you? The type of giveaway I think I'd do would probably be some balls or something golf related, definitely. Just depends, like I say, I've got to look at the terms and conditions, also got to look at the cost, the value, make sure that it's worthwhile giving away, but obviously not going to bankrupt me in the process. So I am looking at getting some balls done and giving you, the viewers, a bit of a chance to win either TP5s or some Pro V1s that'll be logoed up. We'll keep your eye out for that one. Skep, that is a good question. Could you be a professional golfer if you went 10 years back in time? Yes, would be the answer to that. My handicap's been low enough to qualify for me to do my pro-ship. However, now I'm too old, I'm too far down the line. If I was back 15, 16, knowing what I know now, I probably would have had a go at my pro-ship. I probably would have put more effort in, a bit more work in, got my handicap better. Yeah, I possibly would have done. In hindsight, unfortunately now, I'm too old, too far down the line for me to sort of go and do my pro-ship. But yeah, if I was younger, back thinking 16, 17, maybe 18, something I'd definitely consider now. You're right, Joey, 37 isn't old and I'm not 37, luckily. I'm younger than that, so thank you for that. And before you all say it, yes, I had a hard paper round. I know what's coming. Have we got any more questions, guys, or are we questioned out? Seems to be a lot coming from Joey and Skep. Anybody else got any? Hello, Callum. Nice of you to join us. Have you got any questions you'd like to ask us regarding golf? Oh, we're up to 9 viewers. We're doing well. Let's see if we can get 10. Come on. Get your brothers, your sisters, your mothers, your aunties, your uncles, your dogs, your goldfish. Come on. See if we can get up to 10 viewers. Who won the 2021 PGA Championship? I'm pretty sure off the top of my head, the 2021 PGA Championship was won by Phil Mickelson. He became the oldest major champion, beating Brooks Koepka at Kiawah Island, if memory serves me correctly. I haven't got any freebies yet, Joey, sorry. Haven't got any freebies yet, but fingers crossed we might have some coming, who knows. Who old eights golf? Logan, can you clarify that for me, please? Callum, how many golf balls do you have? Ooh. I'm in the thousands at least. I could be getting, I'd say I'm probably around 50, maybe 60,000. Don't know, it's a good question. I have got a lot, because I've got a lot at my house, I've got a lot at my mum and dad's still. Ooh. Yeah, that is a good question. Might do that, might do. Guess how many golf balls I've got. But no, it's an awful lot, I can assure you on that one. How old is golf? Very old, Logan. Different records. Some state it was in the 1800s, some are saying 1600s. It's been around a long time. Originally it was over 12 holes, and eventually they moved it to 18. I can't remember the reason for 18. I was told it. But yeah, it moved to 18, and then as times have evolved now, they've moved it to, they've had 6 holes, they've had 9 holes. Some courses, believe it or not, like St Andrews that we mentioned before, only actually has something like 11 holes. A lot of the greens are double greens, so technically it's only got 11, even though you play 18. I know a few courses locally that are like that. One comes to mind is Greenmount in Bury. I think that's got something like 13 greens, but plays 18 holes. Certain times you play the same hole, but you play to a different green, which is quite different. Good track if anybody's looking. Can you see my favourite golf ball? I can tell you now, my favourite golf ball is the Titleist Pro V1. Okay, I have got a box there with them, but they're just a little bit out of reach. Okay, but I play the Titleist Pro V1. Have done now for years. I do experiment with different balls. Have done for years. But generally I found the Pro V1 is the one that around the greens gives me the most feel, the most touch. Distance wise, yeah, it may not be the longest, but for me, it's around the greens where I need it. I've played the TaylorMade TP5 and I don't feel around the green. It's as soft as the Titleist Pro V1. So to me, my favourite ball is the Titleist Pro V1. Joey, can you get it? I can't get the Pro V1, it's just out of reach, I'm afraid. Okay, in the studio, I'd have to clamber over stuff, and I'm not doing that at this time. Oh, we're only down to 4 watchers. Does maths help in golf? Yes, because you need to add up your score, you also need to keep counting your shots, but also it can help, especially when you're in tough conditions. So I'm thinking now, if you're on a par 3, say for example, the card or the marking says it's 150 yards, but you're into a strong wind, that could be anything up to 2, 3, maybe 4 clubs. So therefore, it could go from 150, it could play nearly 200, 220, depending where you're playing. Likewise, if it's 150 yards on the card, but the wind's the other way, it's straight behind you, it could play anything like from a 7-iron, say, to a pitching wedge. It can have massive impacts, and that's where your math comes into it, that you will start to work these out, you start to process it. You also, some of the golfers are so pristine. There's the old story about Bernard Langer, where he stood on a sprinkler, and the caddy went, it's 167 from the front, it's 168 from the back. Bernard Langer went, so what's it from the middle of the sprinkler? There's that level of detail. I'm not one of them golfers, but there are guys out there that you will see very mathematical, very thorough in the routine. Angles, I wouldn't say angles, Joey, necessarily, you know, come into it. I suppose they do maybe where you swing a little bit, making sure you get the club in the right angles, but when you're actually out there playing, I don't really think angles do. You may look at flags and think, well, if the flag's on the left, I want to put the ball on the right to give me the best angle of attack, but I don't really think you get into like measuring degrees and stuff like that. Oh, we've got up to 6 watchers. We were at 7. Can we get 10? Okay, guys, I'm going to do probably another 5 minutes or so. So let's see if we can get maybe 10. Oh, we're up to 9. Can we get that magic 10? Come on. Hi, Neve. Oh, we're back down to 8, guys. Have you got any more questions? Keep them coming. I'm enjoying this. I really am. Azzy, that's a very, very good question. Do I reckon I'm better than Gareth Bale? At football, I can safely say no. At golf, I think we'd be close. I really do. Gareth obviously plays, I think he's a one handicapper. I'm currently 3, but I've been injured. He obviously has got the time, the dedication. He doesn't work full time anymore. So I think I could give him a good game. I think I could take him, I do. But I think it'd be a good game. If Gareth's watching, he'd love to have a match sometime. I'd be honoured to play with him. Premier League legend, football legend. You know, I'd love to tee up and play 18 holes with him, more just to pick his brain rather than anything else. But I do reckon I'd beat him. My favourite video game, Joey, I'd have to go to the Tiger Woods series. I grew up on them back in the day, PS2. You know, me, friends, we used to sit, we'd play it for hours. You know, could we beat the Great Tiger? Could we do different things? For me, the Tiger Woods series of golf games were fantastic. It's a shame it got disbanded, discontinued. They've tried to bring it back with things like EA Golf and 2K, but it's not the same. I think gaming though now has gone very much online, and I think unfortunately it opens itself up to abuse. I grew up in the old school days where you and your mates would go around somebody's house, sit in front of the computer and bash it out all night, and it was brilliant. You know, being with your mates, doing that. That was what gaming was about. Now the online stuff, the cheats, the codes, all that. To me, it's lost it, and I think a lot of the games now are very similar. The graphics, they've lost the gameplay. A lot of games now are heavily on getting the graphics, but the gameplay is awful. Well, when I think back to like Tiger Woods 2002, 2003, 2004, it was about the golf, it was the game, it was the challenges. It brought so much enjoyment to a lot. That's why they were so popular back then. Operator A, hey, glad to hear it, Neve. Maybe you could put a word in if Gareth Bale's your dad's best mate. Maybe put a word in. Let's see if we can sort out a game of golf, me v him, or me with him even. I'd take that. Callum, you want to shout out? Okay. I think you'll see that is Under Armour, Neve, not Umbro. Is Gareth Bale a good golfer? As I said, yes, he is. Can't take that away from him. The best golfer, Operator A, I always say it's Tiger Woods. Okay, as I've said earlier on the video, in case you joined late, depending which generation you're in, different people, different answers. For me, it's Tiger Woods. Can we keep the chat to golf, please? Operator A, how did I pronounce your name wrong? It's down as Operator A. Is it Operator A? Is that what you're saying? So Neve, my favourite club, is probably my driver at the moment. I don't know. I love my M1. If you've watched any of my other videos, talk about it quite a lot. I do love my TaylorMade M1, although I have got the PXG that I am excited about. I keep waggling it and swinging it. Quite excited to get that out on the course. Skep FC, I've not, believe it or not, I've never yet had an all-in-one. I dare say they'll be like buses. Once I have one, I'll probably have a flood of them. But at the moment, I'm still yet to have the elusive hole-in-one. It keeps avoiding me. I've been very close, and I mean very close, but it's not actually dropped in for a hole-in-one. Saved me a fortune because I've not had to pay the bar bill, but I've not had one. Guys, can we please keep the chat about golf? Is golf the best sport? It's up there for me, definitely. I think it comes down to personal choice. I couldn't sit here and say, yes, 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 you all. I think you should play it because it is a great game, but it comes down to personal choice. Callum, I'm going to have to say Europe as we've just won the Ryder Cup. However, I do feel if Team USA got the actual team they'd want, the best players, it would be very close. Still feel Europe could edge it at the moment, though. I've never had one, Joey, so I couldn't comment if I have to pay for all the drinks or not. Okay, I just understand that normally if someone has a hole-in-one, they do buy the drinks or they put some drinks on. I've never had one, so I can't really say. Yeah, we are up to 13, which is brilliant. Can we get 15? Come on. It's almost like we're at an auction now. Come on. Keep your questions coming, guys. I'm really enjoying this. And girls, not being sexist or anything. Neve, I can definitely teach you, but first lesson we'll have is let's call it a club, all right? It's not called a bat, it's called a club. We are at 15. Can we get 20? We got any more questions? Oh, we've dropped to 14. That's not looking good for 20. I would love to bring one to my job and introduce golf to people. However, there's a lot of safety and red tape we would have to go through. But maybe we can sort it out with some of the other people, something we can definitely look into if you're interested. Can you play football with a golf bat? I think you've answered that one yourself. What was in the box went out. It was the PXG driver. If you go and watch the videos, watch the PXG one from a couple of Thursdays ago, you'll see there what was in the box. It was a lovely box. Must give credit to PXG for that one. Okay, can we just clarify they're called golf clubs, not bats? A few of you keep referring to them as bats. They're actually called clubs. They're golf clubs. Can we keep the chat, please, about golf? We keep going off, some of us. I don't know why. Mikesh, good evening. What content can we see in the future? There's going to be a lot hopefully coming out. We're going to have hopefully some more club reviews, especially the new TaylorMade Ping Cobra drivers. Hopefully going to show some of what I'm working on. I'm getting my swing ready for 2024. Going to see some course stuff. We've got the big match dropping soon. That's all I'm going to say on that one. We're currently in the mode of editing that, so it is going to be hopefully spot on. And then I'm looking forward to the new year, hopefully getting out on the course, getting some more course content. And I've got some big plans lined up. Hopefully the weather provides enough warm stuff that we can get out and do it. Who's going to win the next big tourney? If we mean maybe the Masters, I'd love to see Tiger win it again. I think there's Jon Rahm, I think there's Brooks Koepka. There's so many good players now, it's very difficult to predict at this time. If we're looking at the Masters, we need to be looking more. Let's look maybe March. We'll readdress that when I'll have a better idea of who's hitting form, who's not. Aaron, what is your subscription goal for the end of 2023? As many as we can. We've not sort of set out a target or anything like that. I'd love to have a video that gets 1,000 views. Love that. I'd love to get, say, to 200 subscribers when we're at, I think, 175 now. If we get another 25, get us to 200. And then let's reassess. Okay, like just going with the flow. We've not set any sort of milestones. We have to be at this by this, or we have to do this. We're just going with it. Hopefully keep producing better and better content, doing stuff like this, going live, and hopefully just building it that way. It is a slow process, but we're having fun. That's the main thing. Will I start giving out merchandise for people to buy? Probably not. I don't think I'm going to go down the merchandise for buying route. I'd like to do some giveaways, like to do stuff like that, maybe some charity stuff, but I don't want to be selling merch. I think that at this point is probably a step too far for me. I can't tell you that at the minute, Mikesh. You're going to have to tune in and watch when it goes live. But all I'll say is we had great fun filming it. We both come off thoroughly enjoying it. It was a great match. It was a great day. And I hope that comes across when we've done the editing and the uploading. I hope it comes across as good as what we enjoyed. We thoroughly enjoyed it, and I hope you thoroughly enjoy watching it and pick up on that, because it really was epic. Good question, Callum. I've played football when I was younger, still play a bit now, but I'd say I'm probably less now. Since I've done my back, I'm a bit restricted in what I can do. I don't know if I'm actually restricted or it's just my mentality that I don't want to risk injury, especially when I'm trying to get this up and going. I've enjoyed now for probably the past 10 years fitness, running, training, stuff like that. I was hoping to get back into it last night and life took over again. But I'm looking in the next couple of weeks maybe getting back some running, maybe get back in my gym, getting the bike, get on the treadmill. Might even drop some videos on that just to keep you up to date on what my fitness program's looking like. And then maybe get back playing a bit of football. We play at work. I quite enjoy that on a Friday. There's a great set of lads. It's a good fitness thing. It's a good turn. It's a good crack, good atmosphere. Look forward to that. I follow quite a few sports. I follow rugby union, follow NFL. I've really got into. I like my NBA. I like tennis. I like cricket. I've always been a very sporty person. So in that regard, I follow quite a lot of sports. Me myself, I'd say it's maybe in football and golf. And like I said, I enjoy training. I enjoy going for runs and stuff like going out on my bike. Have we got any more questions, guys, you want to ask? I'm really enjoying this. This has been fun. Thank you all so much. I know I've only got 11 of you now, but I've really enjoyed this. Joey, how much is a golf club? It depends which golf club you're buying. Okay, I have seen drivers at £700-800. I've seen sets of irons at £4,000, £5,000. I've also seen the opposite. I've seen drivers at £150. I've seen irons. I think I saw a deal the other day, a decent set of irons about 260 quid. It'll come down to what you want and how much you're willing to spend. Golf does seem to have this kind of image that it's very rich, there is the initial outlay, but then once you've paid the outlay, it becomes quite cheap. So if I think like a junior, for example, yes, you may pay a couple of £100 for the golf, £50, £60 for your membership, but when you think you've got all summer to be out there playing, you know, I think somebody worked it out once when I was a junior, I think it worked out at about 5p a round. You know, you can't get better than that. Is there courses you want to play this year? There's quite a few I want to try and get to. I keep trying to get to Hillside, and at the minute I keep finding stumbling blocks in my way. I want to go and play it. I played it years ago. Now it's been remodelled. I want to go and play it again because the front nine I did think was a bit scrappy in my mind, but I know they've remodelled it. Love to go and give that a go. I want to try and get up Scotland, play a few rounds up there. I want to try and get over maybe the east side, Yorkshire, Bradford, maybe play a few courses out there. And then maybe get a few just Manchester area. There's still courses I've not played. Pressbury, never played, believe it or not. Where else is there I've not played? Northern, not played. I believe it's a good track. There's courses I do want to try and get out and play. On that, it was announced today that Live it's no longer London, it's going to JCB. I am going to be trying to get tickets for that because I am quite excited by that. Hi Cornelius Korn, whoever that is, hello. Should golf be in PE in 2023? I think the problem with that would be if you're not careful, one, you've got the safety aspect. Two, if you're not careful, if you put golf in, you've got to put other sports. Where do you draw the line? I think a lot of kids should be exposed to golf, I really do, because I think it's a sport that a lot of students would thoroughly enjoy. But there is the safety element. My own nephew, not so long ago, somebody were too eager, swung the club back, bust his cheek open. You know, you can't have that. We can't have A&E filled with kids because we've done a PE lesson on golf. So we have got to bear that in mind. But what I would say if there's any young viewers listening, go and experience it. There's enough clubs now. Go and enjoy it. Go and see if you can get on, play a few holes. Okay, it's not expensive. It is enjoyable, it's exercise, and the biggest thing, you're up against yourself. You're not competing against other, compete against yourself. all right, and enjoy it. Gotta watch I'm a Celeb by Tall Golf. I don't quite get that comment. Will you make another account for stuff non-golf related for that? I probably won't, just because of this one. The time and that it takes, and to be honest, I think there's a lot of football accounts out there that some good, some bad. I haven't got the interest. This has given me a purpose and I'm enjoying it. I want to see where this takes me, so I'm going to focus on one. I think if you're not careful, you can spread yourself too thin and then you end up delivering a very low quality product. I know some of you probably going to say you've got like 13 viewers or something, but we're building. Mikesh, I think I am looking at a Scotland trip. It's just whereabouts. There's a lot of good courses up there now. It's planning it. If I'm not careful, I could spend maybe 6 weeks up there and be divorced. So I do need to just bear that in mind. Cornelius, see you, golf man. I have to sleep in 5 hours. Sweet dreams. Should MMA, again, where do we draw the line with the MMA and that? I'm not getting into that one. Favourite PE topic? When I was at school, your PE topics were very limited. You had football, hockey or basketball. I played a lot of football, so for me I enjoyed the hockey, I enjoyed the basketball side of it because we didn't play it a lot. What was your opinion on the Netflix Cup? I liked the Netflix Cup. I thought it was different, it was quirky. I thought they could have had better F1 drivers with a bit more actual wins at F1, but I liked it, I liked the concept. My biggest gripe was it was very American. The coverage, was very American. To me, I thought Netflix might have gone for, like I said, an English coverage. Neve, can we please keep stuff out of that like that? Thank you. No, just to clarify, the Netflix Cup was F1 drivers and golfers, so yeah, that is fine. We can talk about that. And what return is that? Bounces are better. You've put a grand return, but I didn't know you'd left. Fashionably late. Good. Who will win? Breakmit versus Harwood. There's only one winner in that, I'm afraid, and that is the mighty Breakmit. Okay? Sorry, Harwood. But no, there's only one winner in that. Bye, Joey. Enjoy I'm a Celeb. On that, Harwood, if anybody's interested, or that way, it's a nice track. It really is. It's a great condition. There's a great set of lads there. But Breakmit will win, I'm afraid. I'm sorry, Breakmit trumps them. I know Breakmit's going through its difficulties at the moment, but if they sort out the management structure, that course will be one of the best courses around. It really will, and it will take some beating. Don't be like that, Mikesh. I'm only giving honest opinions. Wow, we've actually done an hour, which is amazing. Best four-ball you've played with in your golf career? Ooh, best four-ball. Oh, that's got me. That I've played in many great four-balls. Ooh, there's none jumping out at me as a four-ball. Best player I've ever played with, believe it or not, was somebody who won the Bolton Championships twice. He turned pro, he were off +3. he was a phenomenal golfer. I remember I had the privilege of playing with him, and some of the shots he hit, I never even saw the shots he hit, and he played them. It was exquisite. It really was. I remember standing on about the seventh hole. He went, "What do you want me to do here?" And I said, "Go on, knock it past the flag and bring it back." And he did. I think he was 6 under for 9 holes. It was just a joy to watch. I think I was 3 over at the time off about 15, thinking, "Ooh," he was 6 under gross, and it was just joyous. The things he could do, and then he was teaching at the same time. It was just majestic. What putter do you use? I currently have an Odyssey. I have got a review coming out soon though on my new putter, so make sure you keep your eyes out for that. I don't want to drop any spoilers, but I think people will be surprised. How long is the average club? The average club is built for the average man. Okay, so the average man is roughly about 5'10". So the average club is built for that. Obviously, I'm 6'5", so my clubs, my irons, are 1.5 inches longer than standard, which is very long. The drivers, I'm not too bad. The PXG I just ordered, I got 1 inch longer. My M1, I think, is just standard because the driver has a longer shaft naturally. But for irons, I'm 1.5 inches longer than standard. What are my thoughts on the new world handicap system changes? In which regard is what I'd ask to that. Obviously, I dropped the video last week where I sort of went off on my little tangent about it, my little rant. But people are talking about the 4 ball better balls counting. I don't like it. I understand it, but I don't like it because for me, a 4 ball better ball is go out there, have fun, enjoy it, attack. And I think if you're not careful, for somebody having that attacking mentality, could end up costing them. But yet, they don't do more. You know, it's strange. I remember playing not so long with a 4 ball better ball. I was horrific. Luckily, I had a phenomenal partner. I birdied 1 hole that then 3 points won us the tournament. So is it right that he gets docked? I don't believe it is. I also don't think this world handicapping system is right. I think they've overcomplicated the entire process, and for me, it's wrong. You know, I get there needs to be a rating because courses are different. You mentioned Harwood and Breakmate. We all know Breakmate is a lot harder than Harwood. Physically, golf wise, length wise, we know that. So there needs to be some comparison. But this slope rating where people come and assess and it's manipulate, it doesn't sit right with me. I think for me, it should be simplified. There is a rating system. Your course is rated such a thing. That then therefore indicates whether you get an extra shot, 2 extra shots, what, depending on your handicap. And everything's done off the scores. Why not do it off an average of your scores? Because that then is reflective. You know, and I used the example when I played in that big competition, 6 people broke 80 gross out of over 100, but standard scratch was 71. That does not make any sense. So to me, I would use the maths, I'd use the data to form, and then like I said, have sort of a difficulty rating. The back tees at Birkdale for the Open are nowhere near like they are at Breakmate or Harwood. So how can you say, oh, we get, you know, there needs to be some distinction, but then that should equate to minimal distance in a clubs like Harwood and Breakmate. That should be quite minimal. It might be a shot. You go to Birkdale, it might be 3-4 shots dependent on your handicap, but your scores should be dictating that. If you're averaging 18 over par every round, your handicap is 18. To me, that's simple. Now, if you go and play Birkdale, okay, you're averaging that at Harwood, you go and play Birkdale, to me, you might get a couple of extra shots. And that would be a fairer process for me. Let's look at what you are to par based on the difficulty. Has it not helped people get into golf and join golf clubs? I personally would question whether it has helped people get into golf and get into golf clubs. I think the pandemic helped golf grow because it was one of the first sports back. You know, there was a lot of lockdown and people were, it was great for your mental health, it was great. clubs have then, the good clubs in particular, have made their members feel welcome, that they've kept them. I don't think the road handicapping system has impacted it. If anything, it's probably upset more people because it's so unclear on what it actually is. You know, you can go out there 1 minute and shoot this and you're down, you can shoot something you don't get touched, you shoot something else that doesn't. To me, I don't think the road handicapping system has helped grow the game at all. Do you think Myrtle Beach, the goat of gold hotspots? I understand Myrtle Beach is a cracking golf course. I've known a guy over 30 years who's played it many times who says Myrtle Beach is a fantastic golf track. I've never had the luxury. I think, Mikel, if you've got a chance to go and play Myrtle Beach, I would say take it from everything I've heard. You keep up to that, bounces are better. If you want to keep Googling golf questions, you keep that up, mate. Have you got any prices for it, Mikel? I've not actually looked at what it is. I know back in the day it was pricey, but I think, what do you consider pricey? That all comes down to, I think, you, the person. Tall man equal long club. It does, Mikel. If you want to not have the ailments. I only found out that some of my clubs were a little too short for my size, and that's possibly what injured my back. Best advice to play well in winter. I would say avoid winter greens because I think they can knacker you up. I would say winter golf for me is about enjoyment. Go out there and just enjoy it. You can't take it seriously. You can't alter your handicap. If you want to use a mat, fine. But remember, in summer, you back off the deck. I always take it to the rough, play it out the rough. Yes, I can play it off a mat, but to me, I don't enjoy it. I think, why? You know, I get a lot of spin off a mat. I don't get that necessarily off the turf. For me, I enjoy just playing golf. In winter, go and just enjoy it. Play shots, do different things. I quite like, if I do play, going out with half a set. Go out with your odd clubs. Go out with your even clubs. And then when you're in half that yardage of, oh, I want my 8 time, but you've got your odd clubs, can you punch a 7 or can you jump on a 9? To me, just gives it fun. Also, can you move the ball? Can you do it this shot? Just go in and have fun. Winter golf for me is fun. People who take it serious, get a life. I don't see the point. You can't improve your handicap. Don't worry about it. Just go out and play. Do I change golf balls in winter? I don't think I do. I think I stick to staying with my Pro V1s. I don't, you know, likewise, I think it would depend a little bit on condition. If I know I'm going out and it's wet, there's a chance of plug balls and stuff. I might put a Shrixon or maybe a bit of a harder ball in or something. Just, I'm not bothered if I lose it. But generally, I stick to Pro Vs. I try and always play a Pro V so I get that bit of consistency. Do you think the PGA will do an event in South America? I don't think it'll be long. I really don't. They sort of moved to Mexico. I don't think it'll be long. They've got the Latin PGA, which is obviously big, and again is a feeder. I think it won't be long before they start to maybe venture down there. I think the biggest thing is probably safety concerns. You know, I think if they can guarantee there'll be safety, they guarantee it'll work, then I think yes it will. If I think back to the Olympics in Rio, they had the golf there, it was good. Why can't they? And I think they'd be stupid not to maybe venture down there. Have you got a price for us, Mikel, on Myrtle Beach? Just to give us, you know, let me have that. I'd love to know whether it is pricey or not. I'm going to be doing a video on this very soon, Mikesh, so keep your eyes out for that one. I'm not going to give you any spoilers at this point, but I've got a video lined up ready about that. Right guys, I'm going to call it there. We've actually done 72 minutes. I weren't planning on doing that long, but my media crew obviously disappointed and didn't do the job. So, I hope you enjoyed this as much as I have. Make sure you tune in on Monday night for Monday Night Golf Night. I've been the Tall Golfer. Good night.